Coming up on the show, we check out the facelifted Range Rover Evoque, a quick look at the new Kawasaki Versys, the Tata Safari Storme in a more powerful avatar, and why wraps can really jazz up your car.
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of CNB Bazaar Buzz. We're coming to you from the Hero dealership in New Delhi, and as you can see, quite decked up for the festivities. So let's start the show with an SUV that evokes emotions quite literally. We're talking about the Range Rover Evoque, which has been launched in its facelifted avatar with cosmetic changes but no mechanical changes. Here's a closer look at what's new with the Range Rover Evoque.
It's an SUV that evokes a smile every time you look at it. The facelifted Range Rover Evoque has gone under the knife and has come out looking more striking than ever before.
Now the most noticeable change on the face of the Range Rover Evoque are the headlamps as well as the DRLs, which now look a little bit more angular and sharper than the previous model. Of course, this is the top-end dynamic version which get the xenon headlamps. The lower-end base models get the halogen headlamps.
The top-spec dynamic variant comes with a honeycomb grille that's quite attractive. But the base models only get the old 2-bar grille. The air intakes of Evoque look larger and the slim LED fog lamps move to the upper portion. Adding to the beautiful presence are the new 18-inch alloys with 7 spokes. But then again, the base model only gets 17-inch tires with 10 spokes. The rear too is quite sporty with a new tailgate spoiler and a slimmer-looking LED brake light. The Evoque comes in a single engine option, the 2.2-litre diesel motor churning out a healthy 188 bhp and 420 Nm of torque, mated to a 9-speed ZF automatic gearbox.
The engine on the facelifted Range Rover Evoque does feel fairly powerful actually. The SUV is quite agile and offers very smooth acceleration and feels quite refined actually. But what I really like is the ZF 9-speed gearbox. Extremely smooth and slick gear shifts. You hardly feel the shifts happening because it's really smooth. The only grouse I probably have is the steering feels a bit heavy and not really ideal for city traffic.
The Evoque suspension feels a bit stiff but doesn't mind the odd pothole. The SUV does feel quite solid out on the highway and corners quite easily. The insides of the new Evoque are quite plush in the top-end dynamic variants with a premium leather material used on the dashboard and the steering wheel. This also gets an 8-inch color touchscreen display and a 17-speaker Meridian surround sound system. The Evoque comes in 4 trim levels: Pure, SE, HSE and HSE Dynamic. But the good news is that the Land Rover has localized production and the new Evoque with added features isn't too much of a premium.
Shifting our focus to the two-wheeler segment, where the adventure biking segment is clearly heating up with the entry of the much-awaited Kawasaki Versys in the Indian market. Here's a closer look at what's really new in this adventure tourer.
When it comes to performance bikes, there's no brand as synonymous with that tag than Kawasaki. And the Japanese two-wheeler mark has taken upon itself to bring in some great bikes in India. We've seen the H2 Superbike hit the scene this year, and there was another one which was launched. This one was the most affordable adventure sport tourer, the Versys 650. The Versys 650 bike comes with a double pipe diamond frame made from high tensile steel. This bike has a long travel upside down telescopic fork suspension at the front and a single offset lay-down shock absorber with remote adjustable spring at the rear and a ground clearance of 170mm. Adding style to the bike are the dual sharp headlamps, long adjustable windscreen, muscular front fenders and LED tail lamps. It comes with the same 649cc 4-stroke liquid-cooled parallel twin engine that does duty on the Ninja 650. Power stands at 68 bhp and peak torque at 64 Nm. The engine comes mated to a 6-speed gearbox. The Versys 650 is priced at 6.60 lakh rupees ex-showroom Delhi. Other than this, the company also launched the KLX 110, which is a hardcore off-road enthusiast from this part of the world. The bike is powered by a 112cc engine, which delivers power to the rear wheel using a 4-speed gearbox. The Kawasaki KLX 110 will not be road legal in the Indian market, which makes it usable only on private tracks or strictly for racing purposes. The KLX 110 costs 2.65 lakh rupees ex-showroom Delhi.
Given the heavy fog conditions in most parts of North India, riding a two-wheeler or even driving a car can be a bit unsafe. Here are some tips that you need to keep in mind while riding a two-wheeler or driving a car that can keep you protected, especially while driving during heavy fog conditions.
Now, one of the first things to keep in mind while driving in the fog is to drive slower than usual, as the visibility on the roads is lower. Also, maintain a safe distance with the cars in front and behind you so that you are protected in case of sudden braking. Also, do ensure that you have your fog light switched on. In case you don't have one on your car, do use the headlamps in low beam. Do not use high beam, as it only makes it harder to see. Do use your indicators while changing lanes and use the painted road markings as a guide. Now, inside the car, the front and rear windshield can fog up, and so do use the front and rear defogger or the wiper, whichever is available. Do try and ensure your windscreen and windows are clean to reduce glare and increase visibility. Reduce distractions and keep the radio at a low volume. And of course, avoid taking phone calls while driving. If you have to pull over, look for a safe parking spot far from the traffic lanes and switch on your hazard lights. Avoid driving at night in the fog to ensure safe driving.
Coming up after the break, we bring you some interesting customization techniques for your vehicle that can really jazz it up. Stay tuned to CNB Bazaar Buzz.